Hey UConn Nation, it's KK Arnold here. If you're looking for the latest UConn women's basketball content, go subscribe to Listen Up to Phil and Ryan. Go Huskies!
Phil and Ryan, listen up. An early recording, Ryan, on Tuesday, the 19th. Last check in against Fair Dickinson. They came through well again. I hope they definitely keep coming through well all season long. Ryan, what do you have for me? Fair Dickinson, a nice record, but I feel like the score is not going to be nice for them once the game is over tomorrow night. And you got this group led by Coach Stephanie Gately.
Well, it certainly was. The first 2 weeks of the season for UConn have been pretty great. The Huskies go into week three, of course, with the 3-0 record. Paige Bueckers receiving Big East Player of the Week, and Sarah Strong receiving Big East Freshman of the Week honors now for the first 2 weeks of the season. And we just have one game again this week, a Wednesday night game tomorrow night at Gampel Pavilion against Fair Dickinson Knights. FDU is from the Northeast Conference, 4-1 on the year so far. UConn and FDU have only played once before, all the way back in 2011. UConn won by almost 50 points, and honestly, it may very well be that similar margin of victory in this game. The Knights' leading scorers so far have been guards Lily Park and Ava Renninger. I would expect the Knights to have around 25 3-point attempts in this game. And if they want to somehow keep this game close, they're going to have to find a way to stop Sarah Strong inside the paint and Paige Bueckers from scoring, which nobody has been able to do so far. And among the incredible stats Paige has put up so far this year, this one might be the most impressive. Through the first 3 games, Paige only has one turnover, and I really think that's kind of been an emphasis for the whole team is taking care of the ball, making smart passes, good decisions. I would expect a lot more steals from the Huskies in this game, and I think since this is probably going to be another blowout, we're probably going to see Paige on the bench for most of the fourth quarter. So I would like to see Morgan Shelley, Ali Zabel, and Cadence Samuels take advantage of their opportunities. Hopefully, they get a decent amount of minutes in this game and can show a little spark to get their confidence level up. I think it'd be nice to see them to start playing well. And the final thing we can't forget about with the win, Geno will become the all-time leader for wins as the college basketball head coach.
All right, Ryan. Very well said. I get it. This is the last check-in, but I'm just looking at the schedule now. It's interesting, right? Because I'm glad you brought that up. They have 2 games left in November. That's it. And I think that's very important to look at. Maybe I'm overreacting a little bit, but when December rolls around, oh my goodness. I mean, you have one, two, three four ranked games, I think, I'm looking at here, and then none. I don't think none left the rest of the regular season. Now, I'm not saying they're going to win all them games, but with the exception of number one South Carolina, right? So I think it's very important to take advantage of especially these games now. And what do you make of this? You're around the time of the year now, Thanksgiving. You don't want to lose that the roller coaster ride that you're on per se, but UConn's always on that roller coaster. They're always going up, right? That's what we like to think. But with only 2 games left in November against Fair Dickinson and then Reagan Beers old school, Oregon State, what do you make of this? Because once they return in December, boy, these last check-ins, we have our hands full then.
Yeah, we knew it's gonna start to get a little tougher towards December as we head into December, and that's yeah. Hopefully, we can get AZ Fudd back in that first week of December. I think it'd be nice to have her for those ranked games, and maybe Ayanna Patterson as well. Not sure how close Aubrey Griffin is to returning, but it would be nice to have at least two of them back for those tough stretch of games that we get into towards December. But yeah, I mean, after this game against Fair Dickinson, we got Oregon State and Holy Cross, and then it starts to get pretty tough after those two games. So it's yeah, I mean it's going to be a tough ride, but I think all these games before those ranked opponents have kind of been preparing UConn for this tough competition to kind of get this team back into the flow of things at the start of the season and getting that team chemistry up, get everybody off to a good start. So I think we're in pretty good shape for that rough stretch of games that we got to go on. But of course, we got to get through these first couple before we start worrying about the top tier opponents.
All right, don't forget predictions and score at the end of this video. Ryan, Jason said, hopefully the shot drought against UNC was an anomaly. I will save my analysis after what I see in the next game, but if UConn misses open shots like that again, changes will have to be made. Which reminds me, Geno, why do you keep Samuels on the bench all the time? He made the same mistake last year. Peace. P.S. Oh my God, no. Not Dallas. Laugh out loud. I should have started this video asking Ryan what he thinks about his Dallas Wings.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty exciting. I mean Dallas has had a rough ride. They haven't been a team for very long, but it's been it's been a rough couple years ever since the team got built. But yeah, I think this is finally going to be some really good news for our team.
And you
So
told me your first official WNBA jersey on your back.
yeah, it's gonna have to be Paige Bueckers. It will certainly be Paige Bueckers. So I'm really
Awesome.
really excited to get my hands on one of those.
On,
Uh,
on top of that, I know I keep on, as I'm falling off guard here on this last check-in video, I'm falling off topic. Then on top of that, you told me, Phil, we're getting on the Metro every time Dallas comes.
Yeah, yeah. Every time they come to Washington, it's gonna have to be a yearly thing. Yeah, so it'd be really fun to watch, and of course, with Aaliyah Edwards on Washington, those should be pretty good matchups. But yeah, getting into Jason's comment with Kaden Samuels, I think she was the only one who didn't play the other night. So that's why I said, hopefully going into this game, I'd like to see Cadence along with the other two freshmen get more minutes and opportunities in this game, in these blowout games, so that, they can be prepared for when we go down into the season. But I would definitely like to see Caden Samuels get more opportunities.
Michael Lawson said a national championship is very hard to win. A WNBA championship is just as hard. You both have to be lucky to win both. There's over 100 teams in college that you have to mount over. In the WNBA, it's just a handful of teams. Yeah, Ryan, and we talked about that. We hope that gets up to 20 or 30 one of these days, right? But it's interesting. You don't know. I can't decide. Is it more tough in college, or more tough a big bracket, or more tough in the WNBA?
Yeah, there's not much like a March Madness, and I think that's why everybody gets excited for it. Whenever March comes around, we get all those 64 teams revealed to us. But yeah, I mean, with UConn winning those 11 championships, they made it look pretty easy. Geno made it look pretty easy. So I think that's why we're so accustomed to it kind of being a championship or bust kind of year every single year for UConn. So, yeah, but it's definitely not easy. We've definitely learned that the past five or so years now. But hopefully this team that we have can kind of make it look a little more easy. We can kind of glide through this season and head into March Madness feeling pretty confident.
Last one. Philip Simpson said Geno has 40 to 50 points sitting on the bench in Bud Ducharme and Griffin. If their recoveries are good, opponents beware. Yeah, Ryan, that go in my opinion, that goes along very well with what I just told you. Welcome to December.
And as good as this UConn team has looked, that's why I said, on the last episode that I really do think the best is yet to come because we still have these injured players that are going to return at some point in the season. So I think this team is going to get even better as we get further along in the season, despite how good this team has already been playing together.
All right, Fair Dickinson and the UConn Huskies at Gampel Pavilion tomorrow night. Your score and who wins?
Well, this is another one of those games for UConn, and we get, of course, like we mentioned, two more of these after this one until the schedule will start to be a little more challenging. For this one, I'm going to say UConn 92, FDU 43, and of course, it will be nice to see Geno in front of the home crowd. We reach that accomplishment for the all-time wins leader.
All right, let's go. I'll hit the 100 mark. Why not? UConn Huskies win this one all over Fair Dickinson, 100 to 60. 100 to 60. Why not, Ryan? And I'll see you right back here tomorrow night for the game recap on Listen Up.